Saul Alvarez is a Mexican professional boxer and the best pound-for-pound boxer according to Ring magazine. His fights attract the attention of millions of people around the world, and his loyal fans want to know how their idol lives. Canelo, how Saul Alvarez lives and how much he earns. Santos Saul Alvarez Barragan was born on July 18, 1990, on the outskirts of the Mexican city of Guadalajara. He was the youngest son in a large family. He has 6 brothers who are also involved in boxing and a sister. Soon the family moved to another city, Guanacatlán, in the state of Jalisco, where little Saul and his father sold popsicles on the street. Alvarez got his fair skin, red hair, and freckles from his mother, who supposedly had Irish roots. But because he was different from the other children, the boy was often bullied by his peers, who nicknamed him Canelo, which means cinnamon. Over time, Saul turned this offensive nickname into his own brand. Since childhood, Alvarez had a love for horses, and even now he often goes horseback riding. Moreover, he owns several expensive horses, including some that were given to him as a gift. At the age of 10, his older brother Rigoberto gave Saul his first boxing gloves, and at the age of 13, Canelo started boxing with a trainer. In amateur sports, Saul had 20 fights and became a prize winner of the Mexican Championship twice. At the age of 14, he became a silver medalist and a year later won gold. The coach saw great potential in the teenager and suggested that Alvarez go professional. Although amateur boxers usually don't make their professional debut at such a young age, Alvarez made the leap of faith simply because no one else wanted to fight him. So at the age of 15, Canelo, despite the protests of his parents, dropped out of school, and on October 29, 2005, he earned his first victory by technical knockout. From the very beginning, the boxer faced opponents who were older and much more muscular. Canelo won his second fight by knockout. In the next fight, he met the future lightweight champion, Miguel Vasquez, and won by a split decision. In February 2006, Saul knocked out another opponent. In the same year, Alvarez won the title of champion of the Mexican state of Jalisco. When the boxer was 17, he became a father for the first time. The girl he was dating at the time, Karen Beltran, gave birth to his daughter, Emily Cinnamon. Saul later got a tattoo of his oldest daughter on his arm, and to this day, she sometimes accompanies her father to fights. The boxer won his next several fights, and in April 2008, he defeated Gabriel Martinez. In the 12th round, the opponent refused to continue the fight, and Canelo received the WBA Fedicentro belt in the welterweight category. In June, Alvarez again defeated Miguel Vasquez on points, and in December of the same year, the boxer held 2 fights in the States against the American Larry Mosley and the Colombian Raul Pinzon. He won both fights. In a fight with Antonio Fitch, which took place in early 2009, the boxer defeated his opponent by technical knockout and received the NABF welterweight title. In the next tournament, after defeating Yuri Gonzalez from the Dominican Republic, Alvarez received the title of WBO Latino champion. In August 2009, Alvarez won the WBC Junior welterweight title, the largest media conglomerate in the Spanish-speaking world. As a result of negotiations, Televisa received the exclusive right to show Alvarez's fights. The boxer himself was supposed to get 250,000 pesos per month, about $19,000 at that time. Thanks to the powerful promotion of each fight, well-chosen opponents, and a huge TV audience, Alvarez very quickly became a boxer of a national scale. In July 2010, 20-year-old Saul became the silver WBC world champion in the light middleweight division after knocking out Luciano Cuesto from Argentina. In December, he defended the title against the former champion, the Argentinian Carlos Baldomir, knocking him out in the 6th round. His next title defense was held on December 4th, defeating the former world champion Australian Lovamor Nadu on points. In 2010, Alvarez signed a contract with the promotion company Golden Boy Promotions, while being a client of another company, All Star Boxing. 5 years later, for violating the contract, Canelo had to pay $8.5 million by a court order. On March 5, 2011, Saul fought the Brit Matthew Hutton and won the fight by unanimous decision, receiving the WBC light middleweight title. In the same year, Alvarez defended his title 3 times in fights against the Brit Ryan Rhodes, the Mexican Alfonso Gomez, and the Puerto Rican Kermit Cintron. A month earlier, another boxer, Ulises Solis, accused Alvarez of assaulting him while he was jogging. Solis' jaw was broken, but Alvarez's side argued that it was not Saul himself who did it, but one of his brothers. Solis filed a lawsuit for $9 million, and in 2015, the parties agreed to a peaceful settlement, the amount of which wasn't disclosed. At the time, Saul Alvarez was dating a journalist, TV host, and Miss Universe beauty pageant contestant, Marisol Gonzalez. After 10 months of dating, the couple announced their engagement. But they broke up in 2012 and the wedding never happened. According to media reports, at that time Canelo had a second daughter named Mia Enar with a certain Valeria Quiros. Saul then started dating the famous Mexican actress Kate Del Castillo, who is 18 years older than the boxer. Alvarez defended his title for the 4th time on May 5, 2012, against the American boxer Shane Mosley. At the end of the fight, all the judges unanimously gave the victory to the young Mexican boxer. For this fight, Canelo received around $1.2 to $2 million, according to various sources. 6 months later, he had a fight against Josequito Lopez. Alvarez again completely dominated the fight, and after the 5th round, won by unanimous decision. Saul received $2 million, which was 10 times more than his opponent got. In April 2013, Canelo faced Austin Trout, and the fight ended in a unanimous victory for the Mexican. Alvarez won 2 world titles at once, WBC and WBA. On September 14, 2013, Saul met Floyd Mayweather in a light middleweight championship super fight. The fight became the highest-grossing match in the history of boxing at that time. The total amount was more than $150 million. The fight was dominated by the American, and Alvarez couldn't do much against an inexperienced opponent. Canelo suffered his first defeat in the professional ring, but still earned $12 million. According to rumors, in 2013, Canelo dated a participant of a Mexican reality show, Cynthia Rodriguez. They broke up because before the fight of Alvarez with Mayweather, the girl had made a bet against her boyfriend. But it is possible that this whole story was just a PR stunt. In March 2014, Canelo had a fight with another Mexican, Alfredo Angulo. In a spectacular fight, Saul won by technical knockout in the 10th round. On July 13th, a fight was held against Erislandy Lara, in which Alvarez was the undisputed favorite and won by split decision. In 2014, one of the journalists of Televisa blamed the Mexican for the death of his sparring partner Javier Jauregui. It was alleged that Canelo, aware of Javier's health problems, trained extremely violently with him in the run-up to his fight, which led to Jauregui's death. Saul paid for the funeral and broke off all relations with Televisa. And in the fall of that year, his contract with HBO had become known. The next fight took place on May 9, 2015, with the American James Kirkland, in which Alvarez knocked out his opponent. In November 2015, a fight with Miguel Cotto took place. The fight lasted the full 12 rounds and ended with a victory for the Mexican boxer by unanimous decision. Saul received $5 million, plus a percentage of the sales of paid broadcasts. The boxer's girlfriend Nelda Sepulveda was present at the fight. She is also Mexican, and together they launched an ice cream company. At the beginning of 2016, the couple was still together, but after a while, they decided to continue their relationship exclusively as business partners. On May 7, 2016, Alvarez fought with British boxer Amir Khan. In the 6th round, Canelo knocked out his opponent, and Amir had to be hospitalized. The Mexican earned $25 million for the fight. His next fight was supposed to be against Gennady Golovkin, but in May 2016, he gave up the WBC middleweight title in the opponent's favor. The Mexican explained his unwillingness to enter the ring because of deadline pressures. After giving up the title, Alvarez returned to the light middleweight category, and on September 17, 2016, he fought the Brit Liam Smith, the WBO world champion. Saul surpassed his opponent in physical strength, energy, and accuracy of blows, winning all the rounds of the fight. In the 9th round, the Mexican knocked out his opponent with a devastating left hook to the liver, winning the title of world champion in the light middleweight division. In the same year, at a public event, the boxer met Fernanda Gomez. The girl didn't like being in public, and in 2019, she opened her own nail salon in Guadalajara. In May 2017, Alvarez fought with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in Las Vegas. Despite the superiority of his opponent in experience and size, Saul won by a landslide. Immediately after the fight, the Mexican publicly challenged Gennady Golovkin, who was in the audience, to a fight. After a year of negotiations, the date and venue of the fight was set for September 16, 2017 in Las Vegas. Prior to the fight, the boxers appeared together in a commercial for their upcoming fight as boxers from the 1930s. The fight was dominated by both alternatively, but most experts agreed that Golovkin was sharper and more accurate. However, the judge's decision surprised both experts and fans, since the fight was declared a draw. Saul received $40 million. Immediately after the fight, the opponents agreed to a rematch on May 5, 2018. On December 28, 2017, Fernanda Gomez and Saul had a daughter named Maria Fernanda. By that time, the couple had already broken up and gotten back together again. Fernanda's place was temporarily taken by Shannon De Lima, the model and ex-wife of the singer Mark Anthony. In early March, it became known that Alvarez's doping test, taken on the eve of the second fight against Golovkin, came back positive. In a statement, the boxer's promotion company noted that the banned substance was from infected meat. Additional tests taken by the athlete came back negative. On April 18, 2018, the Nevada State Athletic Commission disqualified Canelo for 1 year. But since the athlete complied with the investigation, the commission reduced the term to 6 months from the moment of discovery of the prohibited substance. On September 16, 2018, a rematch between Saul Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin took place in Las Vegas. This time, the WBC, WBA Super, and IBO belts belonging to the Kazakh were at stake. From the beginning, Canelo took the center of the ring, which Golovkin did not expect, since he was used to doing the same. Golovkin missed many strong blows to the body, but in the second half of the fight started dominating. In the 7th round, the speed of the Kazakh boxer slightly decreased. Because of this, Alvarez looked more energetic. But in the final rounds, the boxers put up an equal fight with varying success. As a result, the majority of the judges awarded the victory to Alvarez. However, not all the belts went to Canelo. He refused to pay the IBO sanctions fee. As a result, the title became vacant. The fight brought him about $44 million. In September 2018, Alvarez had a son, Saul Adiel. The mother was Nelda Sepulveda, with whom the boxer had resumed a relationship. In October, Canelo signed a 5-year agreement with the streaming platform DAZN, which meant a guaranteed payment of $365 million for the next 11 fights for the Mexican. At the same time, the payment under the contract could increase if they attracted more paid subscriptions than planned. In December 2018, Saul Alvarez took out Rocky Fielding in 2 rounds and won the WBA Super Middleweight Championship belt. Canelo's income for 2018 was estimated at $36 million by Forbes, making him the highest paid athlete in Mexico for a second time. On May 4, 2019, a fight between Alvarez and American Daniel Jacobs took place, in which the judges made a unanimous decision in favor of the Mexican. Thus, Saul held at one time the WBC, WBA, and IBF middleweight titles. 2 fights held under the contract with DAZN brought Alvarez $66.2 million. If you divide this by the duration of the fights, it turns out that every minute in the ring is estimated at $1.5 million. The contract allowed the boxer to take 10th place in the ranking of the highest paid celebrities according to Forbes. Between September 2018 and September 2019, Canelo earned $94 million. In November of the same year, the Mexican knocked out the Russian Sergey Kovalev in the 11th round and won the WBO light heavyweight title. In June 2020, Forbes published an updated ranking of the highest paid celebrities. Canelo was ranked 91st with an annual salary of $37 million. In September 2020, Saul sued his promotion company Golden Boy Promotions and the DAZN platform. He accused them of violating the terms of the contract and demanded to recover $280 million in damages. Earlier, the streaming service, which significantly lost revenue due to the pandemic, offered the Mexican to reduce the fees. The boxer didn't agree to this and did not enter the ring for almost a year. In November, a 2-month-long trial ended with the termination of the contract. Reportedly, they signed an agreement in which Alvarez was compensated for the downtime. On December 19th, Canelo defeated the Brit Callum Smith via unanimous decision and won the WBA and the ring titles, as well as the vacant WBC middleweight title. On February 27, 2021, Alvarez had a duel with the Turk Anvi Yildirim, who didn't show any resistance to the Mexican and lasted only 3 rounds. On May 8, 2021, Saul is scheduled to fight with WBO title holder, the Brit Billy Joe Sanders. Alvarez sees Sanders as one more step on the way to his main goal, to become the absolute world champion in the super middleweight division. Canelo's current net worth is $140 million. The income is generated by the fees for the fights as well as advertising contracts. Over the years, Alvarez has represented the American sportswear brand Under Armour, the cognac house Hennessy, and the beer company Tecate. The boxer is sponsored by the sports equipment brand Everlast and luxury goods manufacturer LVMH. In addition, the boxer has a clothing store and his own promotion company Canelo Promotions, which now organizes his fights. Canelo now lives with Fernanda Gomez and their daughter together in Guadalajara. The inside of their home can be seen on Fernanda's Instagram. Judging by the photos and videos, the house with panoramic windows is decorated in light colors. The mansion has a gym equipped with everything needed for a professional boxer. Saul also often posts pictures with his horses and while playing golf. In 2015, Alvarez sold for $6 million a property in San Diego, California, that he'd purchased in 2013 for $5.8 million. This 1,100 square foot, one-story colonial-style estate is located east of the beach town of Del Mar. It has 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, a large living room, a kitchen, a dining room, an office, a home theater, a billiard room, and of course, a gym. The interior features wide arches and stone floors, high ceilings with exposed beams and wooden furniture. The area near the house has an outdoor gazebo with a fireplace and a barbecue area, a 1-bedroom guest house, a swimming pool, and a spa. There is also a 4-car garage, which was sometimes used as a gym. His car collection includes a dozen cars of the most prestigious brands, worth more than $10 million. The collection has included Mercedes SLS AMG, Lamborghini Aventador, Mustang 500 Eleanor, Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG 66, Mercedes-Benz S-Class, Ferrari Testarossa, Rolls-Royce Ghost, Ferrari 458 Italia, McLaren P1, Lamborghini Gallardo, Lamborghini Urus, Nissan GTR, Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT8 Edition, Mustang Shelby GT500, Ferrari LaFerrari, and others. The most expensive car he owns is the $3 million Bugatti Chiron, of which only 500 were made. Alvarez's body is covered with tattoos. In addition to the portrait of his eldest daughter, he has tattoos like "No Boxing, No Life," "Cinnamon," and "Perseverance." There are also Fernanda Gomez's eyes on his left forearm, a portrait of the youngest daughter, a rose, a quote about fate on his back, a female profile in the traditional headdress of Mexican Indians, as well as several significant dates for the athlete. Saul Alvarez is considered one of the best boxers in the world. In fights, Canelo acts in a very diverse way, and his style can change from fight to fight. But what really stands out is his trademark combination of speed, power, and finesse. Are you looking forward to Canelo's next fight? If you liked the video, please leave a like and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything interesting.